If you've ever counted your 2-year-old's words and worried they might be behind, you're not alone. I hear this question from parents every single week, and parents will say things like, "My child only has 30 words. Should I be worried?" Or another child the same age is talking in sentences. Is something wrong? And as a pediatric speech therapist, I want to gently reassure you right from the start. Today, I'm not here to give you another checklist to stress over. I want to explain what actually matters when it comes to toddler speech and what doesn't. So let's talk about milestones. Around 24 months of age, most children have roughly 50 words, and they're beginning to combine words like more juice, daddy, go. You'll often see this written as a milestone, and that part is very true. But what's really important to understand is this. That number is an average. It's not a pass-fail line. Some children will have more than 50 words, and some will have fewer, and both can still fall within a normal range of development. This is also where the difference between expressive and receptive language becomes really important to understand. Expressive language is what your child can actually say, and receptive language is what your child understands, the language that they can comprehend. And many children understand far more than they can say, especially at this age that we're talking about. Development is not linear and it is not uniform. Children grow at different rates and in different areas for different reasons. That's why checklists often oversimplify what is actually a very complex process. This is the part that often gets missed online, and it's why word count alone can be misleading. What matters far more than the number of words is how your child is using language overall. So for example, there's a big difference between slow but steady progress and a true plateau where skills aren't changing over time. There's also a big difference between a child who imitates words occasionally and a child who is spontaneously using words to communicate. We also look closely at play-based language. Are they using sounds or words during play? Are they bringing you toys to show you? Are they trying to get your attention? Joint attention. This is another key piece I want you to understand. Is your child looking at something, then back at you to share that experience? And perhaps most importantly is the intent to communicate. So here's an example parents often recognize. A child who says 25 words but understands everything you say, follows directions, points, gestures, and communicates in lots of ways is very different from a child who says 25 words and doesn't respond to language at all. Those two children might look the same on a checklist, but clinically, they are very different from one another. When parents come to me worried about a 2-year-old speech, I'm not just counting words. I'm looking at the whole picture of the child. I'm looking at how well the child understands everyday language and directions. I'm watching for gestures, things like pointing, showing, waving, or nodding. I'm listening for sound imitation. Are they attempting new words or copying parts of words, even if they're not clear yet? I'm observing their social engagement, their eye contact, their shared enjoyment, turn-taking, and connection with caregivers. And I'm looking at growth over time. Is the child slowly adding skills? Are things changing months to month? Parents often feel a huge sense of relief when they hear this because it means their child is more than just a number on a chart. I want to be really balanced and calm here. I'd suggest checking in with a speech therapist if your child has fewer than about 20 words around 2 years of age, or if they're not combining words at all, or you're noticing very little progress over several months. I'd also encourage you to trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right to you as a parent, that matters a lot. And I want to say this very clearly. Early support is not about building skills. It's not about labeling. Seeing a speech therapist doesn't mean something is wrong. It simply means you're getting guidance tailored to your child. If you're watching this and you're thinking, that sounds like my child, please know you're not alone. Toddler language development is full of variation, and worry often comes from not having clear, realistic information. If you like more calm, evidence-based guidance about toddler speech and language, I share videos like this one every week. You can subscribe or follow along here if you'd like to keep learning and to remind yourself that you're doing the best for your child.